going to have a little look at Autumn Leaves, which is a jazz standard, and it's a route into jazz music for many guitarists. I'm not predominantly a jazz guitarist. I do play jazz songs from time to time at different events and gigs, but it's not what I spend my whole time playing. I do like jazz music though, and this is the first song I was taught by a tutor when I mentioned I might be a little bit interested in dabbling in the dark arts of jazz. So I'm going to teach you it in the key it appears in the jazz real book in, which is G minor. Lots of guitarists might play it in A minor, but I'm going to get you to learn it in G minor in this video. Okay, now we're going to break down the melody, the tune, as a single note thing. We're also going to break down the chords. Now there's tabs and real book charts and a backing track and chord diagrams and little arpeggio fragments you can use to start soloing over on our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/soundupmusic. In this video I'm going to show you the kind of most obvious basic way to play these beautiful chords, and over on Patreon I'll put some diagrams for a different version for each chord that might be a bit more sophisticated sounding, but the chords in this video still sound beautiful. Let's jump in with the melody. So we get a 16 bar A section and then a B section. The 16 bar A section starts with a little pickup of 3 notes, and we're going to play it on the B string. We're going to go fret 8, fret 10, fret 11, and then on the high E string, fret 11. So those 3 notes on the B are all crotchets. And then that note on the 11th fret of the high E lasts for 5 beats. It's a semi-brief tied into a crotchet. So it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we carry on. Okay, so 8, 10, 11 on the B, 11 on the high E. Note-wise, G, A, B flat, E flats. Then we drop down on the B string, we play the same kind of configuration layout of shape. We play 6, 8, 10, and then 10 on the high E. So on the B it's 6, 8, 10, and again they're all a crotchet. Then we hit the 10 on the high E, which is a D natural, twice. So we get, so far we've gone alright, those notes were F, G, A, D, D. Then we're going to play, same shape again, on the B string, 4, 6, 8 on the B, again, a beat each, and then we're going to play for 5 beats, the 8th fret of the high E. So that was E flat, F, G, C. So it's been 3 things so far. We've gone and then we play 3 on the B, 5 on the B, 7 on the B, and this time 6 on the high E. So this time it's D, E, G flat, well, technically F sharp, sorry, and then that's how it's notated in the real book, so it's D, E, F sharp, and then B flat. Okay, so we've got Then we start again, after that B flat, we go back to the 8th fret, so the G, and we go 8, 10, 11, 11 on the high E. Then we drop down and we play 6, 8, 10. Same thing again, yeah? And then we play, so that was 4, 6, 8, 8, 8. And then it's a different ending. I'll come to that ending in a minute. So we've got a little 4-note phrase to finish off. Let me just show you everything so far. Starts again. Then we're going to go to finish. Okay, so now we go on the B string 10, and then on the high E string 8, back to the B 11, and then B string 8. So the notes are going A, C, B flat, G. That's our tonic, that G note, because that's happening with the G minor. Then we're into the B section. Okay, so the whole A section, I'll say the numbers of the frets as I play them. B string to start with. 8, 10, 11, and then 11 on the high E. Then it's 6, 8, 10, 10 on the high E, twice with that note, and then it drops down to 4 on the B, 4, 6, 8, and then 8 on the high E, that's the long one for 5 beats, and then it's B string 3rd fret, 5, 7, and then 6 on the high E. So we played through kind of half that A section, and then we go back to the 8 and we play on the B string, 8, 10, 11, and then on the high E, 11. Then it's 6 on the B, 6, 8, 10, 10 on the high E. Then it's 4 on the B, 4, 6, 8, 8 on the high E. And then we get our slightly different ending. 10 on the B, 8 on the high E, 11 on the B, 8 on the B. There we go. Now, before we jump into the B section melody, I'm going to show you the chords for the A section. So we get this. 4-bar progression to start. Now, I used the kind of most early introduced versions of these 4-note chords. So these aren't 3-note chords like a G major or an A minor, but we have a triad of notes making up the chords. These are 4-note chords. The first chord we need is C minor 7. Now we're going to take our first finger and bar all 6 strings at the 8th fret, because the root note for this chord is on the 8th fret of the low E string. And then we're going to put our 3rd finger, my finger with the ring on there, on the 10th fret of the A string. That is a C minor 7. Now that is a movable shape. It's an E shape minor 7, because it's based around an E minor 7 that you could play by playing just the 2nd fret of the A string, moved up 8 frets. Then we go to an F dominant 7. We'll come to that in a moment. So there's your C minor 7. The easiest approach you can take strumming wise is to maybe use your thumb and give it 4 down strums. Now I'm making them staccato. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm making 2 and 4, the beats 2 and 4 a bit louder. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? You can also use a plectrum. Alright, now some people don't love that shape because they're barring all 6 strings, and they might put their thumb on the 8th fret of the low E and their first finger across the D, G, B and E strings, and not worry about that A string note. We don't want to hear that A string drone, we want to mute it with our thumb. Now I actually take that shape and I use my 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the low E, and I put my 3rd finger across D, G, B and E. And I'm still muting that. Now that's one of the versions I'll show you over on Patreon if you join us over there. For the rest of the video I'll just stick to these simple ways of doing it. But each of the chords I'm going to show you in this video is the most obvious, kind of useful, universal way of playing these chords, but there are lots of things on guitar, lots of variations. So we're going to go C minor 7 for 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the chart calls for an F dominant 7. Now that's first finger bar across 5 strings. We don't play the low E string. So we're at the 8th fret still, the root note is on the 8th fret of the A. The 3rd finger goes on the 10th fret of the D. We skip over the G and we put the pinky on the 10th fret of the B. And we strum those 5 strings, A through E. A, D, G, B, E. That gets 4 strums. So we go C minor 7 to F dominant 7. And then we need a B flat major 7. And that's 1st finger on the 6th fret of the low E, that's our root note. 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the B. We're muting the A string by letting our 1st finger deliberately touch it. Our 3rd finger goes on the 7th fret of the D, and the pinky goes on the 7th fret of the G. We're also muting here with the base of that index finger, the high E. This gets 4 beats too, or 4 strums. Let me show you everything so far. So it's C minor 7 to F dominant 7 to B flat major 7. And then we go to an E flat major 7. Beautiful sounding voice in this. This is around this version of A flat major 7. If you've ever learned that down at that end of the neck. Now we're going to bar the 6th fret of the top 5 strings, so A, D, G, B and E. We're going to put our 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 8th fret of the D for the 3rd finger, and the pinky on the 8th fret of the B. So from A we've got 6, and then on the D we've got 8, on the G we've got 7, B we've got 8, and on the high E we've got 6. So it's 6, 8, 7, 8, 6. There we go. That gets 4 strums as well. Let me show you the progression so far. C minor 7 to F7 to B flat major 7 to E flat major 7. There we go. Okay. Now I played the same progression there, just with a couple of substitutions and kind of embellishments, so you can see how this sound can grow. But in its simplest form, it's a beautiful sound. Then we go to an A minor 7 flat 5. We also know this is an A half diminished. Now I'm going to show you a nice voicing for this one. 2nd finger, 5th fret low E. Mute the A, 3rd finger 5th fret D, pinky 5th fret G, 1st finger 4th fret B. Now if I play the A, there's that flat 5 against there, that E5, an octave higher there really, but it's, if we hear this, that sound, it's quite a sad, despairing, kind of melancholy interval that. So that's an A minor 7 flat 5, so that's written M7 flat 5. Some people call that A half diminished, and half diminished is just a circle with a line through it. There we go. 4 strums on that A minor 7 flat 5 to a D dominant 7. Remember the shape from F7 up at the 8th fret of the A? We're going to play that at the 5th fret now. So we're using that, it's like an A dominant 7 shape, moved up 5 frets. So we bar the 5th with the 1st finger of the A, D, G, B and E. 3rd finger goes on the 7th fret of the D, pinky goes on the 7th fret of the B. There we go. So we've got A minor 7 flat 5 to D7. And then we go to the tonic G minor. Now G minor 7, so should I say, is the same as the C minor 7 that we started with at the 3rd fret. So we get 3rd fret, 6 strings, E, A, D, G, B and E with that 1st finger. So it's definitely bar chord territory, isn't it guys? And the ring finger on the 5th fret of the A. We stay on that chord for 2 bars. Let's play the whole progression with those shapes I've shown you. So C minor 7 to start with. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C minor 7 to F7 to B flat major 7 to E flat major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 to G minor for 2 bars. show you what it might evolve into. Alright, so I'm still playing around with the same sounds of chords, same voices, same quality of chord, but I'm altering the way the notes are structured in the order they come in, using different voicings. Okay, cool. We're 8 bars in. There's a bit more of the progression to go, but the good news is the next bit is C minor 7 again, F7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7, same again, and then he does the same again, A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G minor. So the A section is the same 8 bar progression twice. Awesome. Let's take the B section melody. We start off with a little move that goes from F sharp, G, A, D, A, and I'll tell you the frets and the notes there. So it's 7 on the B, 8 on the B. Now in the real book, that appears in the kind of beats 3 and 4 just before the B section. It's a little pick up again like we had right at the start. So it's 7 on the B, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, and then we drop down and play 7 on the G, and we go back to 10 on the B. So we've gone. And then we play 10 on the B, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, 11 on the B. Now that's a long note there. So we get this 10, 8, 10, 11. Then we play 11, 10, 11, 8 on the high E. So that bit was. Okay, let me play you all of this B section so far. So 7 on the B, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, 7 on the G, 10 on the B, 10, 8, 10, 11 on the B. And then 11, 10, 11 on the B, followed by 8 on the high E. Next we'll play octaves with this F. We're going to play 10 on the G, followed by 13 on the high E, followed by 11 on the high E, followed by 10 on the high E. So we get. So that's 10 on the G, 13 on the high E, 11 on the high E, 10 on the high E. Then we're going to play 9 on the high E, 10 on the high E, and then 11, 11, 8, 8 on the high E. So it's. And then that drops down and we play 10 on the B. So that bit is, if I take it from the C sharp, which was the 9, 9, 10, 11, 11, 8, 8, 10 on the B, and then 11 on the high E, and then 10 on the B, followed by 10 on the B. Okay, let's play the B section up to there slowly. I'll split it into sections. So 7 on the B, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, 7 on the G, 10 on the B. And then 10, 8, 10, 11 on the B. And then 11, 10, 11 on the B, followed by 8 on the E. And then 10 on the G, going up to that 13 on the high E. And then 13 goes to 11 on the B, down to 10 on the B. That was the. Sorry. And then 9, 10 on the high E, and then 11, 11, 8, 8. So that was a. Then a 10 on the B. And then 11 on the high E, then 10, 10 on the high E. And then we get 8 on the B, 8 on the high E, 11 on the B, and then 10, 11 on the B, and then 10 on the high E, and then 8 on the B. So we finish there with we drop down for that D there in the very end of that melody. So I'll just play that section slowly. So we're going from when, the word when, with a G natural, 8 on the B, 8 on the high E, 11 on the B, 10 on the B, and then 11 on the B, and then 7 on the G, and then 8 on the B to finish. That's the B section melody. Let's take the chords for the B section melody. We start with that A minor 7 flat 5, so it's second finger 5th fret E, skip over the A and put the third finger on the 5th fret of the D, pinky on the 5th fret of the G, first finger on the 5th fret of the B, and try and mute that top string. So we're only hearing a sound from 4 strings, the E, D, G and B. Now you should be able to do it with a plectrum and strum all 6 because we're muting these ones. That gets 4 strums. A minor 7 flat 5, and then D dominant 7, which we've seen before, 5th fret bar, not playing the low E, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, third finger on the 7th fret of the D, pinky on the 7th fret of the B, then we drop to a G minor. That gets 8 strums because it's 2 bars, so it's a bar of A minor 7 flat 5, bar of D7, then 2 bars of G minor. Then it's C minor 7. We've seen this one before. We play the same move as before. A bar, so 4 strums of C minor 7. A bar of F dominant 7. Remember we saw that earlier. A bar of B flat major 7. We saw that earlier. And a bar of E flat major 7. So we get C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7. Now that's a 2, 5, 1, which is a very common move in jazz, and then it's a 4 on the end, so it's a 2, 5, 1, 4. So around B flat major 7, and that is the relative major of the tonic, the G minor. So that move does make sense within this key as a 2, 5, 1, 4. C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7. Let's recap the first 8 bars harmony of the B section. So A minor 7 flat 5. Let's recap the B section harmony. So far we've had 8 bars. It's A minor 7 flat 5 for a bar, then D7 for a bar, then we go to G minor for 2 bars, then C minor 7 for a bar, to F7, to B flat major 7, then it's E flat major 7, then it will be A minor 7 flat 5, then D7. So we've seen that move a lot. Every time we played A minor 7 flat 5, we followed it with D7. That was the 9th and 10th bar of the B section. Then we're going to play G minor for 2 beats. So 3rd fret bar across 6 strings, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A, and then it's a C9, dominant 9 sound. So this is 2nd finger, 3rd fret A string, 1st finger, 2nd fret D, and the 3rd finger across the 3rd fret of the G, B and E. If you've ever played a James Brown song, you'll have seen that dominant 9 shape. So it's 3 on the A, 2 on the D, 3 on the G, 3 on the B, 3 on the high E. Now that third finger getting across them can have some help from the pinky, if you want to use your pinky to get that third fret on the high E string. So C9. So we go G minor for 2 beats, and C9 for 2 beats. And then F minor 7 we're going to play down at this end of the neck now. First finger across 6 strings, the first fret, third finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Now if that's a bit of a stretch, first to third, use your pinky. Or learn that version where your thumb comes over and plays the 1st fret and your first finger gets D, G, B and E. But yeah, we're going to go F minor 7 for the purpose of this video there. Okay, so we've gone G minor, C9, F minor 7, that gets 2 beats. Then it's a B flat, where we get a B flat, the 1st fret of the A, dominant 7. We're going to use that A dominant 7 shape, so it's 1 on the A, 3 on the D, 1 on the G, 3 on the B, 1 on the high E. That's a lovely little move. G minor, C9, F minor, B dominant 7. Over on Patreon I've put some higher voicings there. So I think I do a G minor 9, C13, F minor, B flat 13. For the purposes of this kind of introduction to jazz standards, we're going to go G minor, 3rd fret version, C9, we go from the C9 to the F minor 7 for 2 beats, the B flat dominant 7 for 2 beats. So that line, the 3rd line of the B section, is A minor 7 flat 5, D7, then 2 beats of G minor, 2 beats of C9, 2 beats of F minor 7, 2 beats of B flat dominant 7. So we get that. Then we finish up with a 4-bar progression. E flat major 7, we've already seen that. Then A minor 7 flat 5 for 2 beats before we play D7 sharp 5. Now that's 1st finger 10th fret E, 2nd finger 10th fret D, 3rd finger 11th fret G, pinky 11th fret B. Now we don't hear the A or the high E. D7 sharp 5, that's an altered sound. And then G minor to finish. So the last little progression there is E flat major 7. Okay, I'm going to play the whole progression for the B section. I'll say the chords. A minor 7 flat 5 to start, to D7, to G minor for 2 bars, to C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, to E flat major 7, to A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G minor, C9, F minor, B flat 7, E flat major 7, A minor 7 flat 5 for 2 beats, D7 sharp 5 for 2, G minor. That's where we finish. So that was the last little 4 chords out. E flat major 7, E flat minor 7 flat 5, D7 sharp 5, G minor. As we start to learn more versions of these chords, we can keep ourselves in one part of the neck, so we might end up with that little move there where we can cluster them together a bit more. So anyway, E flat major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 sharp 5, G minor to finish. Okay, if this was your first look at a jazz tune with some of those 4-note chords, those minor 7s and major 7s and dominant 7s and minor 7 flat 5s, and there was a 7 sharp 5 in there, I hope you enjoy those sounds. I love them. It it really expands the kind of noise and the beautiful sounds coming out of your guitar. So it is worth learning those shapes and remembering that they were all movable. So you might learn that minor 7 chord, the very first one in the song, starting at the 8th fret, and you'll have noticed it crops up for G minor 7, same shape, and F major 7. So they are going to give you more than just those specific chords, learning those shapes. Have a go at getting that melody under your fingers. Now I would suggest just maybe trying to crack the A section melody and chord progression before moving on to the B section. And then if you join us over on Patreon, I'll do a little video where I show kind of approaches to soloing. So we start off with a C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, E major 7, E flat major 7. We might end up with kind of little fragments of arpeggios. Approach to playing over those changes. I hope you found this video useful to teach you or help you with the chords and melody for Autumn Leaves. If you did, give it a like, and if you're liking what we do here, please do hit the subscribe button. Happy practicing, see you later.